So on today's episode of Adventures with Lindsay and Jimmy, we are going to pull the gooseneck back in the shop because the brakes aren't really working like I want them to, or like I think they should. Like, you can't feel them at all really when I'm actuating them in the truck. And even I turn them wide open all the way up the gain up on 10. Yeah, you can't even feel it even bumping the truck at all. So something tells me something's not quite right. I know when I spun them by hand, y'all seen that they was grabbing, even though I don't know if y'all noticed, I'm sure some of you did, that I was spinning the tire the wrong way. But even though the brake works either way, so I knew the magnet was grabbing a hold. But I am going to hook to it and pull it back up in the shop, start troubleshooting it. Jimmy should be here in a little while, but I almost feel like we're not getting power from the truck to the trailer, because I know when he was testing it, he was taking power from the auxiliary wire and touching straight 12 volts to it, and that's what we seen grabbing the tire. But we never actually checked to make sure the truck was sending power from the brake wire. I gotta fix that chain. I forgot that thing's laying there. So, but I want to try to get that figured out today, and the dozer is getting moved. That's the whole point of this video, is moving the dozer, seeing how well the truck pulls it and the trailer holds up to it. Where I'm taking it, I may not need it, but the job where I know I'm going to need it isn't very far, so it will be sitting on the job. Y'all will see it later in the video what we got to do there. It will at least be on the job just in case I need it, and it's basically on the way to the next job where I know it's got to be. So real quick, I want to explain about this trailer. Y'all have to forgive me, I'm pretty stupid sometimes. I know I said this was a 14-ton trailer, which technically it is. 4 7K axles, that's 28,000 pounds, that's 14 ton. But you always have to subtract the weight of the trailer, which I think this trailer is anywhere from 4,000 to 5,000 pounds. I'm not sure. It used to have a tag on it. This trailer is an Econoline trailer. It was originally a pintle hitch. Some of y'all may notice that now. But these trailers are made in Double Springs, Alabama. Basically the same place where we go to the lake house is at. It's about 2 hours from here, I guess. I don't even know, I think they still make them, because I asked about a trailer to tag behind my dump truck last year, and they answered the phone and I talked to them. So I guess they're still in business, but somebody, either them or somebody else, has added the gooseneck to this trailer. It looks very professional done. Whoever did it, if they did it in their shop, they did a very good job on it. So that's the difference in this trailer, and kind of the way it's designed, I guess, is a little bit different. But it used to have a tag right here, and it's fell off. But I remember seeing on that tag it had 24,000 GVRW or whatever it is. So 24,000 pounds. So I'm assuming that's counting for the weight of the trailer. Now, either way, I still could be wrong, but either way, that dozer's only about 20,000 pounds, maybe just a little bit more. So I'm either going to be right at max on this trailer or just a little bit less. Okay, so the weight limits and all that is a little bit confusing. You have to have a CDL if your truck and trailer combined is over 26,000 pounds. So I'm trying to think of an easy way to explain that. I'll just show you by the numbers. So this trailer GVRW was 24,000 pounds. Now I say it's a 14-ton trailer. In actuality, you can only haul around 24,000. You have to minus the weight of the trailer. So they're saying this trailer is anywhere from 4,000 to 5,000 pounds. So I should be good to put at least, or 24,000 pounds and under, is what this trailer should be able to handle. Now that dozer is just a hair over 20,000. It's like 21,000 or 20,000, something like that. So the weight of the dozer should be fine on the trailer itself. Now this truck, GVRW, is 14,000 pounds. So you have to add those two numbers together. It's 14,000 and 24,000. That's well over 26,000 pounds. I need a CDL just to even drive this truck and trailer. That's how that works. It's your combined GVRW is over 26,000 pounds. You have to have a CDL. So most of you technically probably need a CDL. Now, do y'all have CDLs? I doubt it. So we don't have to argue about DOT and all that, because if they want to stop you and give you a ticket, they can and they will. So let's save the argument of getting pulled over and all that. I hope I don't, because yeah, I'd get a ticket, no problem, if I didn't have CDLs. So that's how that works. So technically, I can't even really pull this trailer, because I don't think anywhere in the world has a truck that's got a less than 2,000 pound GVRW, because that's all it would take to be over 26,000 pounds on the trailer. So anyway, all that's very confusing. Main thing is, don't give DOT a reason to stop you. Just make sure you're strapped down, make sure she ain't got nothing hanging off the trailer and all that rigmarole. But anyway, that's enough of that. We're going to get this thing on that trailer as soon as we figure out what's going on with the brakes. May not even get the brakes fixed, I don't know, but either way, this dozer's got to be moved today. So let's get hooked to the trailer and pull that inside the shop. You gonna help me, love? You've been up under my feet all morning. So what I'm gonna do is, when Jimmy gets here, I'm going to turn the truck on and actuate the brakes with the little tow haul thing on the truck itself, and then we'll check voltage there and make sure we're getting it on the correct wire, or make sure we're getting it from the truck. I know our brakes are wired up correctly from the trailer to the box, so I just got to make sure that the truck is putting out voltage on the correct wire that it's supposed to be. So when he gets here, we'll check that. And what I figure we're going to have to do is, actually, we're going to pick the trailer up, get up under there with a screwdriver and actually adjust the brakes. Y'all seen when I put the hubs on that whenever I turn it, that you could hear it grinding, and it may not have been actually grinding on the brakes. It may be grinding on something on the dust cover itself, but we're going to check that and make sure our clearances are correct there. And a guy, John Stark, commented on my video about him, I guess, heat treating the brakes, and he made a very good point. Some manufacturers want you to basically get the brakes hot and make sure the resin and all that's going to hold the brake together. I didn't even think about that. I've looked on these brakes and I don't see anything about that, but it's not a bad idea to run the brakes through like a heating cycle. It's not going to hurt them. You just got to make sure that they're not already rubbing so much on the drum that you burn them out, because Rook accidentally did that on one of his trailers one time. They set them too tight and it wound up just burning the brakes out. Within a couple trips, he had to put all new brakes on his trailer again. So I think we just may need to adjust them a little bit. All right, so I got the trailer up off the ground, and as you can tell, I don't hear any rubbing now. So I'm going to adjust the brake real quick. I'm just going to figure out which way to go with it. There's just a little screw up in there you can reach with a screwdriver, stick it through the dust cover. It's going to be hard to show, but it's just a little screw that widens those pads out. So I'm going to turn on that, see if I can get that figured out, and see if I can't get that brake to grab a little bit. All right, I think we got the brakes finally figured out. Jimmy, should we tell them what we did?
No,
No? Okay. Yeah, they're working better now. So we're finally going to load this thing up, and I'm going to pull it to the next job. So it's finally time to test this thing out. I'm interested to see what the cleats right there is going to do. Alright y'all, we are loaded down and headed west or east, west, one of the two. I'm not sure exactly where to set the dozer. I may have to move it back a little bit more on a trailer, but I'll know in just a little bit. But it looks good sitting on there. The tires weren't bulged near as much as they was when we had those logs loaded on there. But yeah, so we're hitting the road and we're going to see how she does. So far she feels really good pulling out of the driveway, so we're about to find out. I can't remember if I locked the gooseneck or not. So we are getting on the Interstate 22 here. Engine brake on this thing is amazing, which I love. The one on my 2500, same thing. Barely had to even touch the brakes to slow down to get on the ramp here. So far feel like this truck is handling this dozer very well. I think I've got it loaded just a little bit too far forward. I know we have the worst roads around here, and you hit any little bump like that, and it just bounces it. Just jerks you back and forth pretty good. Like that right there, to kind of get the hopping a little bit. Usually that means I've got it loaded too far forward. Like right now, it's just sitting here. There it went, finally planed out. So yeah, I'm gonna drive maybe another 5 or 6 miles up the road here and pull over, get some diesel, and we'll check everything. I want to check the hubs and the bearings on the trailer, make sure nothing is overheating. So far so good. Just want to give y'all an update on the trans temp. Trans temp staying about 165. That's pretty impressive to be pulling this much of a load. It's 80 degrees outside, so definitely better on the transmission in this Ison versus that 2500 truck with a 68 RFE. I know it would be running a little bit harder. This one should be running cooler, I guess is my point, so that's a good thing. Okay, everything seems to be still good. I went around, felt all the bearings. You can hold your hand on them, so none of them should be overheating. I should move the dozer back just a little bit more, but I don't have just too much further to go. But I kind of remember to not pull it up so far. The truck's a little bit squatted, but not as much. Not really that bad. I know it's got the leveling kit on there, so the front end's already picked up a little bit, but I think if I move that thing back, you know, 4 or 5 inches will make a big difference on this trailer. But we almost there, so let's keep trucking. So I just made it to the job site. I'm just filling up the bearings now. And if I can sit there and hold my hand on it like that, I think they are great. I need to check the inside ones too, but you know, I set them the same as I did these, so that one's actually cooler than the other two. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So yeah, we made it. I'll talk more about the truck in a minute. The 313 and the 299 is right over there. And this is the job we're going to be on. I'll talk more about it in just a minute. Let me get this thing unloaded. And, gotta hurry up and shoot some grade on it before it gets dark. Okay, I just shot grade on this thing. I'm gonna load the dozer, or unload the dozer, in just a minute. Talk about the truck. Before it gets dark, I'll go ahead and talk about this. What's happening is the church is flooding out on this side. Maybe y'all can see right here. Basically, the church is about probably 3 or 4 inches lower than the gravel part right here, and it doesn't actually get, I set the grade to the top of the concrete right there on the church, and it does not get back on grade till nearly out here by the excavator. So I don't know why this is higher. I think whenever they did some drainage or something, they've got some sewage obviously coming out and coming this way. I don't know what the deal was. I don't have a clue. Nobody knows what's in the ground right here. I'm going to say that it's a septic, but I hope that it's actually tied in on the city sewer. I'm not sure. Judging by, there's some drains back there that's running down the ground. They look like they go pretty deep. And plus we got this 6-inch corrugated pipe right here that's obviously a problem. I don't know. I'm gonna have to just basically dig that out. Hopefully I don't tear nothing up right there. Like I said, I don't have a clue what's in the ground. Can't really do nothing about the units. They're just gonna have to, I guess, sit a little bit proud right there. But basically all this has got to come down, and it does not. There's a drain right down here that is only about 2 inches lower than the concrete. Of course, I got gas here That's going to be fun, which I shouldn't have to take it down anywhere close to getting in the gas lines, but I am going to call them tomorrow and ask them if they know how deep it is. Maybe just have them come out here, and you can tell it wraps around the building there, ties into over there by that unit. I think the last flag is right there, but this drain right here, of course it's culvert going out over there to that ditch. It's only about 2 inches lower than the top of the concrete on the church, so that gives me basically no fall at all that way. The only thing I think I'm going to be able to do with this is take this down and tie it into that drain way back here, because that's the only fall I've got anywhere out through here. They say it holds real water real bad right there at the excavator, which I can see why. It's actually got a hump that way before it ever can run that way. So basically what I think I'm going to have to do is I'm going to try to save this gravel, save as much as I can. I'm going to pull it back, and I'm going to present this to them to get an approval. But I'm either going to take the dirt and try to lay it back up on this bank, basically move that ditch line over this way so it'll have more fall going to that ditch, or I can take the dirt, load it in the dump truck, cut it out, and pile it back here, work it into that hillside back here. That's basically all I know to really do with it, because there's so many utilities are in the ground and nobody knows what's going on over here. So I just told them, like, hey, I can get started. If I hit something, we'll just have to go from there, because the guy that basically took over this church, I don't know what happened with all that, but he's a new guy to the church or whatever, so he wasn't here when everything was built or whatever. But anyway, that's going to be this job. Should get started on it tomorrow. Well, the problem is the dump truck is still in the shop. The guy hasn't even started on it yet, so I may just have to go get it and hope for the best with it. I don't know. But anyway, the whole point of this video is this truck and trailer. I'm very happy with this truck. I've hauled, when I had that 309, it's about the same weight as the dozer. Of course the weight's going to be distributed a little bit differently between an excavator and a dozer, but pulling that 309 with a 2500, it didn't like it at all. I mean, it would pull it, but you could tell it was just a little bit too much for the truck. Even though that truck was deleted, that thing is pushing nearly 1,000 foot-pounds of torque. I forget the horsepower, depending on what setting I got it on, but put it in a tow tune. It's pushing a good bit of torque, but this truck, non-deleted, is pushing more torque than that 2500 was deleted, and it's geared different, so completely different setup. And this thing right here, she's a beast. I think it was a good investment. I think it was a good step up anyway, because I feel comfortable pulling this thing. I just have to figure out where to get it on the trailer. The truck is squatted a little bit more than I realize now that I'm sitting on a flat ground. So yeah, I could have moved it back a little bit. The only thing I'm going to get into is I can't come back too far because of my ramps. But I may have to drive the dozer up on the trailer, fold the ramps down, and then back up to the ramps. It's really no big deal, but definitely the dozer needs to go back a little bit more. But yeah, I'm tickled with it. This truck will pull, man. She will. The only thing is it's a little slow once you get up to speed, just because it's got such low gears in it. I'll take that over lower torque any day. I'd rather be able to pull this thing 50 mile an hour with no problem versus 70 mile an hour and it's struggling to do it. So yeah, I'm very happy. The trailer, I'm happy with the trailer. I think it turned out very nice. Once we got the brakes figured out too, I think too, the truck had to just I think Jimmy said or read or something like this truck has to learn the brakes too, so I don't really know. Y'all know how this new stuff is, but it got a lot better when I took it down the highway or took it down the road empty and I was working the brakes. It finally would lock the wheels up, pulling it down the road, when before it wouldn't even scoot them across gravel, but now it'll lock all 4 wheels up with no problem. I actually had to turn the brakes back down. So yeah, I'm happy with it. It was fun. A little bit nerve-wracking at first, you know, you just don't know what to really expect. But then again too, you know, we pulled those logs and that's about 5,000 pounds more than what the dozer says it weighs. So I knew the truck was going to handle it good, but you know, you just don't never know until you get it on there. So all right, y'all let me know what you think. The next job will be fixing this church flooding problem. They say water will actually get inside the church and flood out some of the rooms in there, which I can clearly see why. I have no idea why anybody would leave that like that. But then again, I don't know. So y'all stick around for the next one. I appreciate y'all watching, commenting, and all the support y'all have given me. So y'all keep your eyes open. I'll see you later.